Welcome to the Hair and Heads podcast. My name is Julio, and I'm joined today by some friends and fellow Inter Miami fans, Dave, Chris, and Jose. And on behalf of the guys, we want to thank you for joining us for episode 34 here on the Hair and Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. On today's episode, we will be discussing the final match of the MLS regular season between Inter Miami and Charlotte, which ended in a 1-0 defeat for the Herons. Before we begin, we'd like to thank our chief Heron Head, Matias. Thank you so much for your generous support. Additionally, we'd like to thank our other Heron Heads, Art, Brian, Kevin, James, and Karen. Thank you so much for your continued support. And if you would like to consider supporting us on Patreon, you will find a link in the description wherever you are listening. And if you don't feel so inclined, that's totally okay too. We appreciate you being here. So tonight was not great. It was the first match that I haven't been able to watch live, which sucked for so many reasons, but not least of which was that Messi started this match and actually ended up playing 90 minutes. So to not be able to watch it live, I had my phone basically off for all intents and purposes, and I had to watch it back after the fact and just sit there and stew in it for however long the match took. And then finally, I was able to catch up on everything. I log on to X, and there's just a litany of people being like, oh, this aged super well, and like, blah, blah, blah. Like, whatever, who cares? And then, it just left me feeling so unsatisfied. There was never, the payoff that I was sort of waiting for. So how did you guys enjoy the match? I'm the most recent person to watch it. You guys watched it 3 hours ago at this point. So how did you guys enjoy it?
I mean, I didn't enjoy it, if I'm being honest with you. It was... After watching the last match, same team, and this time we had more people at our disposal. You felt like we were going to do something a little more. I predicted 6 goals to their none. So yeah, that alone tells you how I feel about this match. It's more of the same. I mean, from the starting lineup, when they revealed the starting lineup, that was it. I feel like our fate was sealed through just that lineup. Gomez playing at left wing when he's never played there, and then we had another start for Noah Allen. And it's just and Dos Santos in over Calendar. It's disappointing. But again, this season has kind of faltered a little bit and ended in a sputter. But whatever. I think we're all over it, right?
Completely over it. Yeah. So after after the last episode, we were all super high on this next match. We said Messi was going to play. We thought Alba was going to start. All this stuff. And then we were just completely let down in this match, guys. 1-0 loss. We were all... What was the lowest score? I think I was the lowest score prediction at 3-1. So this is definitely not the outcome that we expected. Very shocking. This, like you said, David, this lineup seemed like Tata just kind of said, what the hell? Let's try some random things here. Let's give Dos Santos some playing time with Messi. He hasn't played with him. Why not? And that Gomez left wing, super weird. I don't know. Just weird. I guess. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't have many thoughts about it because it was just very odd. It was honestly very odd. The way that the match just played on, it was kind of like you're just waiting and waiting. Once again, we've heard this so many times, empty possession again. I think we were at 61 or 62%. If I saw correctly. It kind of just dragged on. A lot of it seemed like towards the end we were getting some nice attacks in. Obviously that Messi little right on the side of the goal that almost went in and got tipped. But yeah, there really wasn't a lot of attack going on throughout the whole match. Not much to say there.
Yeah, Chris, you're right. We had 61% ball possession percentage. The thing is that what sucks is that it was very boring. We just played a very boring style. It wasn't very liquid. It was just we had possession, but it wasn't a meaningful possession. I didn't like what I saw. As David said, we went into it very, very high and mighty and very wait till we do what we did again in the cup match. We're gonna do it again, and yeah, just very fluttering. Just no. This is Messi's one of his worst games that we've had with him. To be honest, hate to say it, it is what it is. You guys want to say it? I'll say it. It's he. I don't know if I didn't really see him in the pitch. Gomez. I don't know what he was doing at left wing. I agree. I don't know what that was thinking there. I'm happy they made the adjustment in the second half. It kind of made more sense at that point. They brought him a little more down, but yeah, it's just a waste of a half. I was disappointed that we didn't start Alba, considering he seemed like he was fine in the second half when they brought him on. Yeah, just overall disappointed. Disappointed because we could have just at least just close the year off with a bang and with something to look forward to. I don't know what they're doing with calendar. Maybe there's more to it than what we know. It has to be because I'm the first to say when he sucks. Yeah, I'm not about to say let's put Dos Santos in. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Not anymore.
No.
Well, I think we're coming from the fans' perspective to an extent, right? So for us, we want to win, we want to spoil Charlotte. From the club's perspective, this game was, for all intents and purposes, meaningless as far as the season is concerned, right? There is no shot we can make the playoffs. So, they probably look at it as the opportunity of saying, Dos Santos has never started an MLS match. Let's give him a start. Who cares? Diego Gomez, let's see if he can continue to shoot in the box and miss completely. So let's try that. He did that. Congratulations. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, a lot of weird things. I'm also with you, Jose. I'm surprised Alba didn't start. As soon as he came on, the game was played entirely in Charlotte's final third. That was a weird one. I'm not sure what Charlotte was doing in the first half that kept basically the ball and the play when Inter Miami had the ball on the opposite side of the field. But it felt like everything was going through the left side, and Messi couldn't get central. I know Twelman mentioned that the two midfielders for Charlotte were staying very tight together. They weren't separating too much and leaving gaps. And I don't know if that really affected his ability to get more central. And then Gomez being out wide also just spaced out the front so much that he had to stay wide. But the second half adjustment there was, you could feel it immediately when the second half started. Miami was on the front foot from the second half, and I was like, man, where was this to start the match? Because other than the very first minute or second minute where Kermaski played the ball to Campana, which actually ended up in the back of the net, but Kermaski was ruled offside correctly. Other than that, we didn't do all that much in the first half. That felt like, oh, this is the Inter Miami of old before Messi's injury when we were kind of cruising in the Leagues Cup. It never felt like, we're going to dominate this game. We're really going to grab the game by the scruff of its neck and take it to Charlotte. It just felt very off. There was no real good flow on offense. It didn't seem like there was a plan really. And every time we had even a half chance, it just kind of sputtered out and nothing came from it. It was very uninspired first half for me. And the second half, we saw more signs of positivity, but that came with some adjustments and some changes in personnel.
But that uninspired play, this is the first time that we've seen it with Messi as in the entire game, because we've said, oh, this looks uninspired in games that either Messi was expected to play and he didn't, or it's just games that he wasn't in town for. But this is the first time that we've had Messi from whistle to whistle that the offense just looked disjointed. I think we had a few good runs, but every time there was a good run, it was a result of being offsides. I think we had 5, 6, 7 offsides and
7 offsides.
It's
7-0. They got 0 with 7.
Yeah, it's very frustrating because every time you think you have something going, and then that damn side judge with the flag was up, I was getting so frustrated with that. I was ready to turn off the TV after the one that Messi knew he was offsides, and he still found he had the composure to hit the back of the net regardless. But man, and Messi had 2 good shots. He had one free kick. Were they both free kicks? Or one,
he had the free kick from the side. Yeah, he had the free kick from the side, and then the ensuing corner, which were both incredible shots.
Yeah, I mean, he hits those two, and look at that. It's a completely different feeling, but you're relying on these outrageous shots from Messi on a set piece, as opposed to getting anything organically from the pitch. So it is frustrating, but Joseph, and another thing that we need to talk about is Joseph wasn't even included in the lineup. He didn't travel with the team, and there's news on that later. But yeah, this is the last game of the season for a reason. We did what we had to do. We did come away with some hardware, but there's a lot of things that we could take moving forward into the next season. But this game is a stinker.
Man, if we thought the left side was bad, what happened? That was a cough. Now, if we thought the left side was bad with no Allen over there and whoever Facu, whatever side left, it got even worse with Gomez out there at the left wing position. There was nothing going on that side. It was
We
just
want
like,
Robert Taylor.
where's Robert Taylor when you need him? Who would have ever thought? You want to say something about that, Jose? So we can make into another song?
Never mind.
Yeah, man, that left side was weak.
It just didn't provide anything really. Like, and then if Gomez had a chance, he would just fumble it. He's not a scorer. Like, I don't understand.
That's 2 games in a row where he does something that's just so terrible.
I don't understand why Tata puts him in those positions.
Last game, he gets in the right spot. I'll give him that. But he doesn't, like, when push comes to shove and it's time for him to make a decisive play with his foot.
Yeah, it's not there.
It's terrible.
It's not there.
He's not. Was the pass that he flubbed, and now this one. He had chances to just kick the ball, man. Just kick it
on target, please. Like, even if it's straight at the keeper
or with any kind of conviction. It's like these little taps that don't do anything. It's frustrating.
It's frustrating. Yeah, it's frustrating, and Tata keeps putting him in these advanced positions where. Let's look at some of these unused subs, right? You have Mota, Faria, Stefanelli. I take any of those 3 ahead of Gomez in the left wing position, in a attacking position like that.
You take Mota over in left wing
over Gomez to shoot?
Oh, yeah. Well, over Gomez, that's not saying much.
Yeah, right. But I mean, even Facu, Stefanelli.
Yeah, Facu.
But what's even more frustrating is last game. Granted, short period of time, we're like, oh, Robbie Robinson, he looked nice. He looked nice at the wing position, and then they start instead of giving him a chance to show something at the wing position, they put Gomez on the wing, which is so out of fit. Like if you're gonna experiment with Gomez somewhere, hell, experiment with him over Noah Allen at left back. Like that's something that I would like to see. See if there's anything else that if there's a reason to never play Noah Allen again, and you have a viable backup. Let's see if he can do that. But no, they put him at wing, which is, I feel like, a spot where we have players that make more sense at wing that could back up or show that they can back up. So that, I mean, again, I don't know what Tata was smoking this morning when he decided to come up with this lineup, but it was some strong stuff.
I think we kind of seen what Gomez is. Every time we play, we see similar stuff. He's not an attacker. That's obvious. He's a good defender. He holds his ground. We've seen him very well coming in as a sub. He's done good coming in as a sub, kind of like to shut down the game. We've seen that multiple times, and I think that's really what he is. I don't know if he's really starting material over the midfielders that we have right now starting. I don't think he is starting material. I guess you could argue with Kramaski interchange there, but I still think Kramaski provides that attacking upside over him. And then we have Busquets and Gregory that are just better overall midfielders over him. So I see him as a sub. I see him as a sub coming in just to shut the game down when we need him. I don't see him as an attacker. I don't see him putting the game on his feet and trying to make any sort of plays. It just doesn't make any sense.
Maybe that's something that they're trying to show is maybe they have a vision for what they want in midfield. And they're like, look, we signed Gomez as a young rising talent. We know we're going to have a clogged up midfield going forward with the players coming back from injury and maybe some possible signings that they have their eyes on. Maybe they're like, okay, let's see if he's a viable option at left wing, and what better game to kind of experiment than this last one that means absolutely nothing. So maybe that's why they're like, oh, let's put him at left wing to see if he's a viable option. But I think if this was a test, he flunked it.
Definitely.
Yeah,
and
man.
what Chris was saying. when they started Kromaski and Gomez. Why not just invert them? Like, just invert them and play them in more natural positions. I don't get it.
Yeah,
This guy's hard-headed.
yeah, and what was another big weak spot on our team this year? The depth. All of these international plays, injuries, and things like that. Hey, we signed him for a lot of money, but it is what it is. He's a great sub. He's a great depth piece on this team. We need as much depth as possible. And what better way to use him? We've seen what he is. So I don't know. But again, it's the last game of the season. No big deal. It's just weird. It's a head scratcher.
I would have loved to see him. I agree with David. Just putting him in left wing back. I think that would be fun.
Or giving Robbie Robinson more of a chance. Start him like that. That to me was they dropped the ball on that. They dropped the ball on that because that's if you want to experiment. Experiment with someone that proved last match that he still has something to give, and give him the opportunity to start a match. Like, we don't know if Robbie Robinson's going to stay with this team much longer, so like, let him play. Let him play for the club that drafted him and brought him up and gave him all this opportunity. He played well last match. Like, I don't understand that the Gomez left wing, left mid, whatever position he played, because it was more of a 4-4-2 in game, but whatever that was, never again. And there was way better options.
If you're going to go out and say, oh, let's give Dos Santos a start, why can't you give Robbie Robinson a start? Like, what? Like, if you're just throwing crap at the wall and seeing what sticks, you might as well put an actual position fit there.
The entire lineup, right? Like, none of it makes sense if you're saying, okay, Dos Santos is going to start over Calendar. Unless if something comes out in the coming days that something's wrong with Calendar, which would be really weird because he seemed completely fine last match and nothing seemed to have happened in training that we know of that was reported. It just doesn't make sense. It's very disjointed, right? If the strategy is let's experiment a lot, cool, let's experiment a lot. Like, whatever. Throw all the young people, throw all the people that we haven't seen in weeks, throw them all out there. Like, whatever. If any of them work out, cool. But then don't have like Messi and don't have like Gregory and Busquets.
What are they doing? They're putting legitimate players in there. If this game means nothing, then let it mean nothing. I don't know if they had a deal with MLS saying, hey, it's a big stadium and this is decision day. It's a big deal for the MLS decision day. They want all their squads to have important matches. So maybe they kind of nudged them saying, hey, you have to play some of your best players. But other than that, I don't understand. Like, nothing made sense. It didn't make sense. The lineup didn't make sense.
Yeah, but I don't see Tata putting Messi in that situation either. Right? Like,
it's not that. It might be Messi. Messi has enough pull in this league and interest in that this league does well that they might be like, you need to play in this match just for the interest sake because he's making a cut. He's making a big cut of every profit that the MLS makes.
Are you putting a tin hat on, David?
No, it's a fact.
I did see a glimmer in his hair. It might have been.
I mean, it's just a product I put on.
No, but I do. I don't know if it's so much that David as I think that I already thought this was a good idea. That's what I'm thinking.
That's very worrisome, by the way.
That's literally where I think.
To an extent, I don't disagree with you.
Imagine the conversation
we've seen questionable calls.
We've seen
questionable calls on lineup this season already. So
he's like Dos Santos.
But we've always given him the benefit of the doubt, saying, "Oh, these aren't players he brought on, this and that." Again, we're at the end of the season now. If you're going to experiment the whole way with players that you haven't seen.
That's the thing. Like, I don't just do the tip. Like, go all in.
Yeah, no one likes just the tip.
Right. So just go all in. But in all seriousness, like, the whole thing, like the whole scheme just doesn't make sense. And in the second half, when he made the tactical changes and when we made the subs that we made, I thought were all good. Arroyo was like, whatever, level with Gregory when he came in, didn't change the game all that much. I thought Robbie Robinson was decent. Jordi Alba completely changed the game. But the tactics coming out in the second half were much better, like much better. And that to an extent might have been Charlotte trying to like not fumble the lead like they've done a million times this season. But we came out way more intent in possession, way better chances. The player movement off the ball was so much better in the second half. And I don't know if it was like a slight formation change with where they put Gomez. So Messi was roaming a little bit more centrally. Messi was able to touch the ball way more in the second half. In the first half, he didn't touch the ball until like the 6th, 7th minute. It was I was there and I was like, wait a minute, I don't think I've seen Messi touch the ball. And I looked at the time, and then finally he touched the ball and he was immediately swarmed by the midfield. But in the second half,
his touches were few and far between that first half.
Yeah,
it wasn't just that he started touching in the 6th minute. No, he just was not involved. He wasn't involved.
Right. It was completely disjointed. It was like Messi's over there, and then the other 9 players are playing over here, and the goalkeeper's just kind of like messing around with the ball and not getting good touches in. And then, Charlotte scores a goal, and it was just they kind of coasted and got away with it. Like, their goalkeeper made some incredible saves at the end. Miami maybe deserved to get the draw tonight. I don't think they deserved to win necessarily, but I mean, Charlotte didn't do anything to scare you in the second half outside of the one shot that Dos Santos saved. I don't know. It's just like whatever. Like we're saying, it's the last game of the season, so you want something. You want one or the other. Like, I want to see the young guys, or I want to see us go and like balls to the wall and actually win and go for it and like try to score 17 goals. But it was just nothing. It was just flat, and then it kind of wasn't, but it just led to nothing. It was all disjointed.
I do think that a little bit had to do with going into next year, because us knowing what we know now about Joseph, we haven't said it yet, but Joseph not being part of our plans for next year, it does kind of lend me to think that Tata was probably already thinking before the game started, like, yo, he probably told the team, everyone line up. All right, everyone take a step forward. Joseph, not you. Step back. You get on the plane. Joseph, let's rock. I kind of think that's what kind of happened. I like to think so, and it just makes me think that maybe they just didn't have. They just didn't have today winning in the cards. It was more so who blends well with Messi, and that's probably the reason why I would think they would keep Messi on, even if they're thinking about next year. They're like, well, but who blends with him, right? Let's try and mix some things up. It was all horrible, It's like, yo, let's not do any of that for next year, please. And yeah, that's how I imagine it.
So some additional context before we continue. Tata Martino in the post-game press conference announced that Joseph Martinez would not be returning to the team for next season, which I think we all saw coming. He's $4 million off the books. He was the second highest paid player on the team after Messi. So that's just some additional context to what Jose was saying.
Yeah, he lined everyone up and said, everyone step forward. Not you.
This is a fact. This is Jose reporting this.
This is a fact. This happened.
Yeah, he didn't do much for us. I mean, he scored a lot of goals this season, but it just wasn't. He didn't show what he had done in the past. It was just a failed project, he's not signing. Honestly,
he's not worth the price of admission. Like,
exactly,
he's being paid.
Exactly.
He's the second highest paid player on the team, and he's not the second best player on the team.
Did they happen to say anything about Robert Taylor?
He's injured.
Because he also didn't fly with the team.
Yeah, they said he was injured. I can look up the exact injury later for you if you'd like. But they said he was carrying injury.
Lower body contusion.
Yeah. So there you go, Jose. Sorry, it was posterior. Exactly.
I'll tell you.
So I guess we can let's just start talking about next season. A couple people have mentioned in the chat Suarez, Modric. What are the things that we want to see moving forward into the offseason? I know there's rule changes and stuff coming, but let's just ignore
speculation.
The specifics. Let's ignore the specifics of the rules that are going to be coming. What do we want to see this team do?
Just like fun without any rules, just like
some rules. Keep it within reason. Keep it within reason.
Okay, I mean everything that has been like blurted out on the team has been Modric, has been Suarez, has been the right back
Sergio Roberto.
Sergio Roberto. I mean, those guys right there are pretty impressive. I think we add those three folks in there, that's gonna take us to another level because what have teams been doing this year? Well, they've been taking advantage of our lack of depth, right? Whenever we've had to sub people out, we've had guys that can come in and make a difference. But what happens when they're kind of hurt or tired and they don't play at all, right? That's when we are at our weakest, whether it be a left back, right back, wing. It's just it's. I would say our midfield is kind of stable, but you bring a guy like Modric that can do the tiki taka and just pass it in and out. I think that would be so impressive, so fun to watch him go at it. Just he's impressive, and us watching him with Busquets and Messi would be just incredible to watch.
I find it so difficult to believe that we're gonna get either Modric or Griezmann. I know that there was talk about Griezmann as well. I find it so difficult to imagine them coming at this stage. I know Modric's a little older, but imagine them coming over. Yeah, I don't see it. I hope I'm wrong, but I mean Sergio Roberto, I think that would be awesome. If we do get him, I would be super curious to see if we can somehow maintain Yedlin. Because I think Yedlin as a depth piece, as a rotational piece, is fantastic. I think that would be awesome. Now it's a matter of him being willing to take that role because he can start on most MLS teams. So it's just whether or not he wants to.
He's still relatively young too. I think he's like 30.
Can Yedlin switch sides? Can he play left wing back as well? That's something I don't think I've ever seen him do.
Well, Gomez today played left wing, so
knowing that Yedlin might play striker,
anything is possible. So I think that would be awesome if we can keep Yedlin as a rotational piece and have two legitimate starting backs. Great. Also curious. I don't know. I know we signed Miller and we have Toto. I don't know what Kristoff's position is going forward. I don't know if he's a staple. I don't know if I'm judging him off of his gray hair, but he looks long in the tooth, and he's not the fastest guy out there. And we have our issue on defense is that they are slow. These guys don't move. So
you want Rudiger. That's what you want.
If we can find a good,
I said within reason,
a good central defender, that would be fantastic. Because Gregory can move, but even Busquets today, I saw him in a dead sprint, and somebody came like from 10 yards behind him and caught up to him. So we do need to add a little bit of speed on this team. And I don't know what's available. I haven't looked into like what available players are, but at the wings, to get a true left wing, that'd be nice as well.
I think we're all laughing at Moag's comment.
I didn't see it.
There's a rumor that Gomez is playing goalkeeper for the China games.
I mean, if that's the truth, then I wouldn't be surprised if he stays in China as a goalkeeper.
Hey David, Kristoff's our age. He's actually younger than us.
You know
so
what
it depends
it is?
what you think old is. I don't know.
It's growing up in Ukraine and growing up in
he's got that weathered Eastern European look.
It's a different vibe.
He's definitely got some calluses on his hands. I bet.
Goran Dragic. He looks a little bit like Dragic.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the defense piece. I still think, and Julio said it a bunch of times, we've all said it, I think this team has enough to attack. He has enough firepower to score goals every game. Obviously, today it looked a little weird, but the personnel decisions were a little weird. But I still think they need to focus on defense. If we could get a really, really strong defense in this league, I think it'll go a long way. A lot of teams seem to really lack that strong defensive presence in the MLS. So if we could somehow build around that, I think it'll really put us a step ahead of a lot of teams. And I agree that we need speed in the back. Our center backs are pretty slow. Besides Toto Aviles, he's young, he's vibrant, he's good. But Kamal Miller, for as athletic, as big as he is, he's still clunky, still slow. Kristoff, you see him trailing a lot of times. He's very slow. So Sergio Roberto will be awesome on the right back position. I agree with David. If Yedlin could stay somehow, that'll be great depth piece. Can he play both sides like Jose asked? That would be really nice. We could go do away with Noel Allen, put him back into the academy or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think we really need to focus on defense. It's going to be fun to see, besides the international pieces that we could get, what other maybe domestic pieces here that are homegrown or something that's out there that maybe are up and coming or who knows? Who knows? We have to do some research on that. But yeah, I agree with the defense piece.
Isn't I forgot what team he played for, but Wagner, isn't he going to be available?
He's in a contract dispute right now. He's someone that really interests me. I was actually going to bring him up. I literally have him pulled up on the screen over here.
I have eyes in your room. Sorry.
Yeah, no, MLS proven talent, young. He's 26, really good wing back, really solid. Plays for the Philadelphia Union. He's in a contract dispute right now with the club, so he may be available. He would be someone that would be hugely interesting to me. I've been saying that my priority is the wingbacks, so that needs to be addressed no matter what.
My priority, honestly, hasn't. Now, I mentioned those three guys because those are the guys that have been connected to us. If I were to have my wish list, it would be we need a left wing. I feel like the left wings that we have are not very good. The ones this year, I think they've all sucked. And I feel like Facu, I feel he's out of position when he plays there. Robert Taylor, I'm not talking about him. And Robbie Robinson, we're banging our table right today. We're banging our table. Why didn't you start Robbie Robinson? Do you hear how silly this sounds? That's not who we need to be talking about, right? Like, I would like a guy that can get the ball off the pitch and get fast and get us up there and start the offense. That's why these guys have been able to get on our weak side, and be able to do what they did today with Messi, where they basically took him out of the game. They just kept going to that side. First of all, because Jordi Alba wasn't there, they just kept going to that side constantly, keeping the ball on that side. And yeah, because we're weak all around on that side. So yeah, if I can make one wish, it would be a left wing. But I just don't know anyone that's fun that I would want. You know what I'm saying? Nothing in the rumor mill has been anything left wing. So
another player that I think was here is Alejandro Bedoya. Does he play left wing?
I don't know. Want to talk about long in the tooth?
I mean, I just want an effective goal scorer. Wasn't he leading the league in goals for a little bit? Or he was leading his team in goals?
So he also plays for the Philadelphia Union, and they say that they are not planning contract extensions for him, which is sort of the same boat that Kai Wagner's on. But yeah, I mean, listen, proven talent on a team that's very good. That's kind of what we need. We need like MLS experience. Obviously, getting the likes of Modric or Suarez, those are names that, if they come to the club, they're going to be effective almost without a doubt. I mean, Suarez is older than Joseph Martinez, but I have way more confidence in the talent that Suarez possesses compared to the shell of Joseph Martinez that is what's out on our club now.
Also experience playing with players that are already on this team.
With Messi,
definitely. With that level, right? Like with that level.
And that's why I prefer a Roberto, right?
He hasn't. He's. Oh yeah, Sergio Roberto is.
I would prefer him over the guy that you're talking about with Philadelphia Union because he's already played in that kind of atmosphere, right? He's already played with Busquets. He hasn't. I don't think he played with Messi, but you can imagine he understands what he's looking for. More so than any MLS guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Like either of those to me would be home runs. To be completely honest,
the rules changes are what's going to dictate that. To be honest,
sure.
Because if they don't allow us to just go crazy and start signing guys from, if we can get all of them and we're on talks for all of them. Look, Modric is. I know what you're saying, David. He seems far fetched, but like today I watched Real Madrid play against Sevilla. I didn't see Modric. He's not an integral part in that team. They have Jude Bellingham. They're trying to move away from Modric. He's literally Jude is supplanting Modric, and he's no longer really in the fold. So it's one of those. I think he's started 4 games this year. for Real Madrid. It's like he's not in their plans. So it's either he can stay in the team and just be basically the tutor for Jude, but that they're kind of getting away from him. So
Yeah, but what
it makes sense.
I think the issue is going to be Modric take a normal, like a more MLS normal contract to play here in the United States, or take $200 million to go play in the Saudi league. I think that's going to be the issue.
All things being equal, I'm saying like it makes sense for him to leave Real Madrid right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think a player with just the name recognition, is somebody that the Saudi league will gobble up. And
yeah,
we're not,
he'll almost definitely get an offer if he becomes, for all intents and purposes, a free agent, as we would commonly refer to it in American sports. There will be an offer from the MLS and be like, oh, come join Messi and it's going to be super fun. You can live in Miami and all this and that. Or take, like David was saying, a huge contract that would be offered to him from the Saudi league.
You know who else was offered by Saudi league?
Just about everyone.
Messi.
Yeah. Yeah, he would have gotten $1 billion to play for like 1 year.
And you already did?
Yes.
No,
he didn't score a goal tonight, Jose. That's what he did.
Oh, that too. He didn't score a goal. You know what he did? Score a goal.
But listen, so before we kind of move on, speaking of goal scorers, it does seem more likely right now than not that Luis Suarez is going to be joining the team. I feel like that needs to be said. There was a fairly reputable reporter for Inter Miami today that said that Luis Suarez deal would be done sooner rather than later. So that does seem like that's really in the pipeline. That really has a good chance of happening. Again, we don't know what the rule changes are going to be in December, so maybe we need to wait for that to happen before the club makes any move. Before they announce anything. Yeah, like he is a free agent. Like he is would be, I guess, a free transfer. I don't know what his contract situation is with Gremio, but that seems like it's a very close reality compared to the Sergi Roberto or the Kai Wagner or some of these other names that we've mentioned so far. That does seem like it is probably going to happen, which I think it's going to be fantastic just for the star appeal, obviously, but I think it's going to be really good for Campana. Like I always want to see Campana succeed, obviously, and it's kind of like half a joke, half not, but I think it's going to be fantastic, A, to provide him with legitimate competition, and B, just the tutelage that he'll be able to get from Luis Suarez.
He should be able to glean as much as he can from Suarez, because the same build, the same type of attacker that Campana, I think, should strive to be. So just watching him train and things like that, he's gonna get positive reinforcement on that respect. But yeah, I think just having him and Messi in attack will be phenomenal. And that another reason why I feel really good about Suarez coming here is when we were bringing on Alba, there was that right when we signed Alba, the next person they started talking about was Luis Suarez, that he wanted to join. In fact, the report came out that Luis Suarez approached his club and said, "I'll buy my contract out. I will pay you the remainder of my contract to release me." And they didn't honor that. So if it wasn't for that, we might have had him already for the stretch run, because he wanted to join ASAP. So I feel really good about that. Would love to have. I mean, I think it's going to happen. I would love to see that, and I wish it had happened this past season.
So they did. I just looked it up real quick. Luis Suarez, he was supposed to leave that Brazilian club in 2024. They came into an agreement to actually cut it a year early, so he would end the contract now at the end of 2023. So basically, I think December, January, he would essentially be a free agent. So that'd probably be around the time that a deal would probably get done.
Yeah, so no China for Luis.
Yep.
Maybe against Newell's Old Boys.
Did they announce when that game is going to be?
It's February 12, somewhere in that. It's February 20, maybe.
It's actually very possible.
No.
Did they ever?
China, God forbid, for China. I'd be so happy. Right away, instant gratification.
Did they ever announce anything with Barcelona? Like, I know I had read that they were probably gonna do like a match, like
that
a friendly
was
match with Barcelona.
Nothing official.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be fun.
Yeah, because that people were first saying that they were going to loan Messi to Barcelona, and that was
Yeah, I know that was shut down.
That was paneling balls.
He's like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
Yeah, I knew that was shut down, but I still thought the Barcelona friendly was still kind of up in the air.
It's something that they would like to do because it's nothing but profits for both clubs, but nothing's lined up.
Yeah, and also remember, like European, their season calendars, like they're in season, so scheduling a friendly would be in season for someone. It would be very difficult to sort of
unless these new rules would kind of alter the MLS season.
I highly doubt it.
It'd be a huge change, though.
Just to appease.
Right.
They're gonna figure it out. They're gonna figure it out. That's a game that has to happen. Just Jorge Mas is not stupid.
A Christmas special.
It's gonna be like a charity match. Beckham's gonna play.
It's way bigger than these two clubs.
Inter Miami greats versus Barcelona greats.
Perfect.
Higuain.
Ronaldinho's gonna be back.
No. It's
basically the youth academy versus the parent club.
It's gonna be Inter Miami versus their feeder program. Enjoy.
Exactly.
Inter Miami Barcelona finds all these guys, and then we just buy them later.
It's just a scouting match for us. It's so we can be like, oh, who are we gonna take next?
I guess we'll get Real Madrid next. When are we playing them?
No, we don't take Real Madrid players.
We might start.
That's gonna happen.
I heard Vinicius is having a rough time in Spain. So,
oh my gosh. Speaking of left wings that we might
need. So happy. Are we trying to win trophies or we're not? I don't know what to tell you. Figure it out.
Do we want the best left winger or do we not?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the offseason is gonna be a lot of fun. Look how much happier we are right now talking about that than we were talking about the match that we had to go through.
The goal is to never say Noah Allen again. Like that's my New Year's resolution.
But that could be your goal.
What's your goal, Jose? Robert Taylor?
Never say Robert Taylor ever again. God forbid.
But you love him.
So rude. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, Robert Taylor.
That was his birthday present. He didn't have to participate in
this
stupid game.
Didn't they say we're going to call it Robert Taylor Day? Didn't the club say that?
Did they?
Or no, I think you did on Twitter. Forget it. That's to piss me off.
Oh man. Listen, it's been such a fun season leading up to this. It's going to be such a fun off season as we get through more rumor mill, transfers, rule changes. How is it going to affect Inter Miami? We have friendlies in November. Moag saying we got to wait until February for another attempt to win. We just have to wait less than a month. We're going to be in China November 5th and 8th. So just 2 weeks away, we will have more matches from Inter Miami. We'll see who travels. If Messi's going to go, I imagine the club's going to want to take him to absolutely capitalize on the profits. See the jersey sales spike through the roof and the hordes of people that would be chasing around the team buses and going to the hotels that they're staying at.
What are the names of the teams that we're going to be playing against?
I forgot. Can you remind me?
Qingdao something.
Can you give me a did you know on the teams?
No, I wanted to ask you right off cuff, and I knew you were going to know.
Yeah. So, listen, we appreciate everyone that's been listening and tuning in, everyone that's here in the live chat. We really, really appreciate you guys coming out and supporting us. It's been really fun. The content is going to keep coming out through the offseason and any news that's being reported. Make sure you follow us at the Heron Heads on Twitter or X and Instagram and TikTok. And that way you guys can be kept up to date on all the latest. And we'll keep pushing out these videos with any news that comes out. We have also the Ballon d'Or is just a week away now. So we have an episode planned to come out to preview that. And we'll probably do an episode to recap that. So lots of things that will be surrounding the club, news or match related. So make sure you guys are subscribed, hit the notification bell to make sure you don't miss a stream, and we'll catch you guys on the next time. Thanks so much for tuning into the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami.
I'm gonna attempt these names.
Okay, great.
Perfect
after the outro.
Qingdao Hainyu FC and Chengdu Rongcheng. Look it up. I bet I did it perfect.